Hello everyone and welcome back to ZK1 Plays. So glad that you guys could join me today. Today, going to be talking about the brand new Terra Raid events that are going to be going on in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, coming very soon. So this is going to be a very brief video where we talk about the raids that are coming up, and we're also going to speculate on what might be coming down the pipeline, barring any special announcements or new directions from Nintendo or Pokemon. So here we go.
ZK1 Plays.
Coming up very soon, as in this coming weekend, I believe tomorrow afternoon in the United States is when it should start, is this raid event right here, which is Drifblim and Miss Magius, however you pronounce that, in the respective games. So I think Drifblim is going to be in Scarlet, Miss Magius in Violet, but you'll be able to do both by using the Terra Raid function in the Poke Portal, which is awesome. But then the one that everyone's excited about, the one I'm excited about myself, and that is Greninja. Ash Greninja coming to raid battles near you the following weekend. That is January 27th through the 29th. And then again in February 10th through the 12th. So this will be the next one, kind of like Cinderace or like Charizard, where you have two different rounds to try to catch it. And it's a 7-star raid, so it's very difficult to take down, but has some good rewards associated with it as well. This raid boss is a Greninja with a poison type, which comes with the Mightiest mark for defeating it. All right. Now, you heard me say Ash Greninja. It is not actually Ash Greninja anymore. It's no longer a separate form. It's just Greninja with the Battle Bond ability, and the Battle Bond ability being even better in a lot of ways than its other ability, which its other ability is the one, what did they call it originally? It's the same one that the Grass Starter has in this generation, Protean. And that ability allows them to change typing based on the move they use. But Greninja's ability, Battle Bond, which is new in this generation, is going to allow it to get a special stat boost when it knocks out an opposing opponent. So it's basically like a super beast boost because it boosts speed, special attack, and attack, which is super nice. Really excited about this Greninja. Stay tuned because at the beginning of next week, Monday, leading up to the raid starting on Thursday, Friday, I'm going to post a video telling you exactly the strategy you need to use to beat this Greninja. And let me warn you right now, it is not what you thought. The Pokemon that are going to be good against Greninja are going to be new and fresh and fun, and you might want to shiny hunt one before time for the battles next weekend for Greninja, okay? So now, I wanted to point out something that I found in my research that is fascinating, and that is this. Basically, using the Pokemon that have been used in these raids already, we can kind of predict or look forward to what might be the next Pokemon that they unveil in a raid like this. So, first off, we have the Charizard line being introduced in the first 7-star raid back when the game was released right at the beginning of December. Okay, and Charizard was unleashed, and we all battled him, and it was very difficult to beat, but a lot of us got access to Charmander and Charizard right away because of that raid battle, which is super cool. A couple things to note about Charizard. Number 1, he's not naturally available in Paldea. Number 2, he's a starter Pokemon, and then everything else kind of is normal. He's a fire type, and these things don't matter quite as much. But if we look forward to Cinderace 2 is a fire type, but I'm proposing that doesn't matter too much because we're getting Greninja. Cinderace 2 is a starter, and Cinderace 2 is not available in the base game of Scarlet and Violet. Okay, now coming to Greninja as well being a starter and not available in Scarlet and Violet in the base game. And so, all of that being said, I would like to make a prediction that barring any Pokemon Day announcements or anything coming in mid-February that might change the trajectory that they're going on with these games, I would like to suggest that I think we're going to get another outside of Paldea starter as our next 7-star Terra Raid event. Again, something could change drastically. They could unleash a Pokemon DLC announcement. They could do anything that might change our minds. But barring anything crazy like that, I'm wondering if we might be getting another brand new starter from one of these raids coming very, very soon here, okay? So let's look at this together, at the starters they could possibly use and which ones we think they would bring. So this list right here is called Transfer Only Pokemon, and these are Pokemon that are in the base game. They're programmed in, but they are not available to find in the game. So in other words, Charizard had to be programmed in so that when this event went live, his models and his moves and his abilities would all work correctly. So all these Pokemon you see on this list are programmed in the game, but they are just not available yet. So Cinderace now has been made available. Greninja will be made available next week. So which starters do we have to choose from left over? First off, I'd like to automatically rule out a few starters, and this is my opinion, but I would think the Typhlosion line, the Decidueye line, and of course the Samurott line would all be not what they would choose in this particular situation, being that those three are probably in this base dex for the game because of their forms that just came out in Legends Arceus, which we see as coming probably to the game very soon through Pokemon Home Transfer, and there are other Pokemon like them that will be available. So if we ignore those three forms, although if one of those were to be chosen, I would think Decidueye because of the grass typing and how we had not had one of those yet. If we hold those aside, we are left with Delphox and Chesnaught from Generation 6, and we are also left with the Rillaboom and the Inteleon from Generation 7. Generation 8. And those are the only starters left to unveil that have not been taken care of yet. And so, here are some things to think about. In upcoming raids, we could be seeing one of two things, in my opinion. Unless they change the direction in which they're going in and they stop doing these starter raids, I believe that we're going to see Chesnaught, Delphox, Rillaboom, and Inteleon introduced to the game slowly, one at a time, one by one, so that we get an opportunity to catch each of these starters with their hidden abilities and breed them and shiny hunt them and all of that starting. Now, in terms of these other sets of starters that are included in the game, because they have those extra forms, I am starting to think that those are waiting to be introduced until they're transferable from Legends Arceus, unless they decide to do an event using those Pokemon as well. However, being that we have the data that we're using regular starters that are already in the game but are not available in the game yet, and that none of them have been forms from Hisui or any of those, I'm thinking we must be looking forward to one of these. And so, being that we haven't had a grass starter too, I think those are probably the most likely. So, if I had to put my money down on one of these Pokemon being the next raid event, it would probably be Rillaboom or possibly Chesnaught. And Chesnaught, of course, is one of my favorite Pokemon, one of my favorite starters of all time. I just love the design. I don't love the typing, but the design is just so neat, and I love that it's not as frail as a lot of the grass type starters are. And so I hope that it's Chesnaught, but I believe it'll be Chesnaught or Rillaboom. And being that Rillaboom was such a threat in competitive Pokemon last season, especially all the way down to the end when restricted Pokemon were allowed, I'm afraid it's going to be Rillaboom, which Rillaboom is an amazing starter as well, so I can't wait to see which one it is going to be. But with Rillaboom, we will also get our very first Grassy Surge user in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And so, yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to this, and we'll see if I'm proved right in the coming weeks or not. But after Greninja, my prediction is we will get a Rillaboom 7-star raid with a Mightiest Mark, and he will have his hidden ability Grassy Surge, which will, of course, be very useful and competitive once he is made legal once again. So, thank you guys for checking this out, and I hope that this was interesting to you. It was interesting for me to make. And like I said, we'll be back after the weekend with a guide on how to defeat 7-star Greninja. Stay safe, and peace out.